Hello, and welcome to the Go With The Flow podcast, which is part of the Samphire Institute. Today, our guests are Ethan Beletsky and Ali Olshan, and we're calling this segment One Kid and a Shaman. And today we'll be talking about Ethan's current learning unit within the Samphire Institute dedicated to big flood prophecies. So the premise is that the big flood theme is a theme that emerged spontaneously throughout different cultures and different times. They have some similarities and some differences, but cultures as far away as ancient China and the Native Americans spontaneously had within their mythology big flood themes with some key threads running through them. And just to note, you will hear in the background our sea lion friends here in Marina del Rey. So don't be alarmed. That's perfectly normal. They will be accompanying us on our journey today. And without further ado, here are our guests.
The sea lions will accompany us during the greater flood, and we will continue here with Ethan. So, do you want to see?
What is it?
You want to pull that document? Because we have this document here.
Wait, this is GPT-4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Was it? Tell me.
I lost the conversation.
It's okay. Because there is an Excel document here.
Where's here we go. So the cause of the flood.
Mm-hmm.
Two of them, I think, like less than 5 of the 10 that we compared were the flood was created by divine judgment or punishment, and for the other ones, the reasons vary very widely.
Mm-hmm.
The main characters are always different. In the ones with arcs or boats, they're usually survivors chosen by a divine entity. For example, Noah.
Okay. Divine entity.
Different characters in each edition is what I just said. So, some of them had an ark or boat constructed to save the humans and animals.
Uh-huh.
They had different designs, size, and construction, and how to construct them. There was divine wrath in them.
Mm-hmm.
There was a common theme of divine wrath or anger. The motivation for the divine wrath differ widely.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where was I? The animal pairs and the ark or boat stories differ widely. And the types of numbers differ.
Mm-hmm.
Renewal of life. The flood serves as a meeting of cleansing in some. And there are different goals and post-narratives for the flood.
Mm-hmm.
Some are a test of faith, and the survivors face challenges and tests of faith.
Okay.
There is unique culture and religious context in these. The geographic location set in many different parts of the world and in different settings. There is usually convent or promise in the arc stories. And the terms differ, though, and the symbolism and morals are different,
Okay.
but they have unique symbolism, usually.
Do you have any example?
Let's see. The main characters vary from Ushmatism to, let's see, Noah and others that I don't know their names.
Mm-hmm. And then I just want to briefly discuss on the moral. So there was a myth in Africa where there was a god in Tanzania, let's call him Enkai, who also decided to punish the humankind and their disobedience and corruption. There was a man, just like Noah. His name is Tumbainot. He was warned by God about the forthcoming flood.
Or Ushmatism and El.
Okay, all right. So you see, there is like these similarities. So he did the same thing. He built also an enormous ark to save himself and family. And as the legend goes, is that the deluge continued, submerging villages, forests, mountains, and he also took all the animals, and he was safe inside the ark. And same thing with the aftermath. From what we've seen, he released the dove to scout the land.
The dove.
Yeah, the dove. And dove returned with a leaf, signifying that the floodwaters were receding and land was becoming visible.
In Ushmatism, the same happens, except he launches a dove and the dove returns. And then a crow and the crow returns, and then a hawk and the a goose and the goose doesn't return, and then he knows that there's land.
Okay, all right. And I just want to kind of dive deep a little bit into the cultural significance of this, what has happened, historically. When we look at Ushmatism, we look at Noah's Ark. For example, in African cultures, the Maasai in particular, the tale, they call it a tale, like a fairy tale. It serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of obeying the divine commandments and maintaining moral integrity. So it's about integrity and keeping morals, because if we don't really comply or we don't stick to the morals of divinity and humanity, there is a chance that there will be a flood. There's also this cosmologic significance that it explains that there is higher powers than human powers, right?
Yeah.
And then there is obviously the community part, where this kind of myth serves as a binding community together into a belief system that, okay, let's say we're the chosen ones, and let's build this ark because we really striving towards keeping, our morals high and just basically be tied more to the divinity. And obviously, one of the significance is the spiritual connection, where the Maasai, where the tale underscores the Maasai spiritual connection with Enkai, which is the god, reinforcing the norms and rituals and paying homage to the divine.
So, is the Maasai tribe what's the word?
You can describe. You can explain like.
Are there multiple gods, or is there just one?
Yeah.
Polytheistic.
Yeah, polytheistic. So they actually believe in one deity, one entity, which is Enkai. But Enkai is in nature. It's mostly they look at God as like a spirit, like you said, right? That
Yes.
you remember
Spirit
we had
of the universe.
spirit of the universe. So it's not like a man sitting somewhere in the sky, or a woman.
A man pulling all the strings.
Yes. It's like that. So, and when you're really connected with that, with the spirit of Enkai, which is divine spirit of everything, you're connected just with the spirit, then
Not connected. You don't have any influence on the world
yes,
or what happens. You're just
yes,
you.
yeah. In a way, things are predetermined. So there is your will. So let's say you have a big will within you, like you have a will to go to supermarket and do things, but then there is a higher will. Let's say we go to the supermarket, and then somebody comes to us and says, "Oh, I haven't seen you for thousands of years," and the friend comes, and then bang, you end up not in supermarket but at his home or at her home, because there was some kind of divine intervention. So you had a will to do something, but then Enkai, which is the divine spirit, God, universe, is doing that. So
yeah, it's not like this man who who's like you don't have will, which is basically what the Bible's saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone pulling all of the strings.
Well, interestingly, you say that because many religious scripts are focused on punishment, crime punishment, that when you disobey the word of Bible or the Quranic, then you immediately get punished. So
But do you immediately get punished?
No, that's the thing. That their beliefs as well, the belief systems, they like to talk about punishment that comes from God, and there should be fear of God. So we should be fearful not to be punished. So what I do believe is that everything has a cycle. So you do something wrong, like we talked yesterday, then the wrong comes back to you. Sometimes it takes days, sometimes it takes hours, sometimes it takes months.
Sometimes it takes years.
Sometimes it takes years, absolutely. So, and sometimes people are like, man, how can this person get away with so many things and blah, 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 blah. But we don't know what they're dealing with. We don't know about their family. We don't know exactly their health. They seem to get away with, let's say, misdemeanors and wrongdoings. But then again, it becomes very philosophical, what is right, what is wrong.
If someone wrongs you,
Mm-hmm.
then you're probably gonna take that out on other people.
Yes. So that's why it's good to treat, if I treat you right, there is a high chance that you'll treat somebody else right. And so that's how we're spreading the light. I bring you the light, you bring me the light, I bring the light to Aviva, and then and it kind of goes in circles. And then we change people around us. We change our parents, we change the environment. So, from what we have researched, back to the flood, we have Mesopotamian cultures, which talks about the divine flood, Sumerian, Akkadian. We also have Babylonian, Gilgamesh, as you recall. And there's always
about Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
How did his ship sail in the worst weather ever? It was a square. You can't even sail a ship. You can't even sail a ship that's square on calm water. Nevertheless, the worst the world's seen.
Yeah. have you observed, like yesterday somebody sent me this video online where the the fish, there was a fish and there was a big stork that caught the fish. But for some reason, when the stork was about to swallow the fish kept wiggling side to side, and it kept escaping the stork throat, and it kept escaping, and the stork caught it, and eventually the fish was fighting so hard that it escaped the stork, which is one chance out of million, let's say,
Yeah.
or 1 out of 1,000. Doesn't matter, like a low probability.
Very low.
So I believe that when you have that self-belief, like Gilgamesh had, and he was obviously praying to the divine, he stayed in belief. Yes, he stayed in his strong belief, and his belief, he had no doubts really about his belief. That's the thing. Doubt is what causes a lot of people to really, pass or to die or whatever. But he had so much. He had so much of. He had so much of belief that he survived. So it's like there was a higher power, that divinity, that helped him to survive. But let me tell you, had he had any hesitation, which then will grow into doubt, and then doubt will grow into fear, he will be gone. Like the whole thing will probably will not happen the way it happened. So it really teaches us to believe
In ourselves.
Yeah, believe in ourselves, confidence. If you feel something is right, you stand up by it. You say, okay, I feel like there is a God's will for me to do this.
This is something about Noah's Ark.
Mm-hmm.
About humanity.
Yeah.
Survive. So, Noah was the only survivor besides like the fish and the animals on the ark. Because the fish, that was a big boon for the fish.
Yes. It's a good question, actually.
But for Noah, he's white.
Yes.
And his wife is white.
How
did everyone else come? If they all died out.
Yeah, so it's a very it's actually, I had, while you were voicing this question, I was thinking, how did the fish survive? Because how did the fish go into the ark, right? So it probably means that the fish
fish just swam.
The fish just swam, so not everybody went into the ark and the fish survived, right? That's
also,
probably the only explanation.
On a wooden ark, it must have been so annoying to put 2 pairs of each of the termites and ants and worms and those little species that are like so hard to catch.
Yes, so true. That actually gives an idea how they probably came, a lot of them came by themselves, or maybe they later mutated as the generations, as when they arrived to the shore. Probably, let's say, zebra eventually mated with a with the horse, and then it created some kind of another species. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But back to your other question, which had to do, I don't know what you, I think I got sidetracked for a moment.
Yeah. So what were we talking about?
Yeah, so you kind of
Gilgamesh.
Yeah, we're talking about Gilgamesh. So what I do see is that the history tends to repeat itself. So whether it happened, so what do you think? You think it happened, the Gilgamesh, the Noahs, was a different time frame? Because every culture has one of these characters, in Indian, in Maasai, there is, or you think it's the same character, or you think it was different characters and we had hundreds of different floods?
let me say something.
Yeah.
So the let's see.
The document is there.
Chinese mythology. Anyway. So basically, let's say, let me give you
No, we can expand on any culture.
you
see, there's lots of.
There is another, I think it might be Babylonian also, like another Babylonian text, or Mesopotamian or something like that. That has nothing to do with an ark, and actually speaks of. So, think of this circle I'm making with my cursor as Earth. The water's under, so the seas and springs, in a kind of U shape. And then right here, this rectangle I'm making with my cursor.
I'm paying attention.
That's the land that we live on. And then beside that is the waters. And then under that is a small water body, and then under that is Sheol, the underworld, and then there's more water, and then under that are the pillars of the earth. 2 giant stone pillars. Above that is a kind of like dome covering the stars, sun, and moon, and then outside of that is water.
Okay.
So water's outside and the water's inside. Yes. And then the pillars of the earth in that dome create a kind of barrier. And then they thought the planets is the gods.
Yes.
And there were 2 entities. I think there were land and water that created Earth. And then they mated and they had children, and they also created Earth. And then, like in Greek mythology, with the story of the Titans, the father was murdered.
Yeah.
But I don't remember why it happened though, and I forgot who asked. And then the mother, the ocean deity, got mad, and then the strongest of her children faced her and won, and then split her in 2, and created the waters above the sky and the waters below the ocean or sea. And that is one of the Babylonian texts. It does not say anything about the ark.
So, but do you see that? Maybe.
Although there was a boat used that he used to ferry to his mother, but that's not.
I think it was a separate story, right?
Yeah, it was separate to the Gilgamesh tablets.
Yes, it's like when we take.
But there's a lot of similarities to that, to the creation story in Greek mythology.
Well, we kind of see it happening around the world. So the question that I have for you probably is: do you think you think we had hundreds of floods, or you think it's all the same characters, just different cultures depict the same character?
Yeah.
What do you
I think so. I think there was one flood,
Mm-hmm.
multiple people.
Multiple people. Yes.
Because there are different. There's another Babylonian tablet that also depicts a story like Ashmetism that was recently discovered with a circular arc.
Mm-hmm.
There's the normal Ushmatism with a cubical arc.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Noah's Ark,
Yeah.
which some people say Noah's Ark doesn't give the exact shape. I don't know.
Yeah, there is not much description.
Yeah.
So the descriptions seem to be vague across the platforms, meaning they don't have. Many cultures just say some kind of boat or some kind of ship.
The Ushmatism flood gives the exact measurements
Oh,
and
wow.
shape.
Oh wow, okay. So they were closer to knowing the actual boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
In comparison to other cultures. So maybe their tablets or their book had a lot more details about it. So now since we think it's the same character, it's just in different cultures. It was different. No.
Same flood,
Same flood.
different characters with different designs and different animals.
Okay. So it
Or
means
same character, different depictions.
yeah, different depictions. So let's say in what's his name? Let's say Noah also is the same guy as Ushmatism, and also same guy as in Sumerian Zisudra, and the same guy as, I don't know, like all these bunch of names, Ali and Leo and Ethan in different cultures, and it's pretty much the same guy, just because, and it's the same flood, and it's just different names for the same guy. Because
and the same flood. There
same
weren't
flood.
multiple floods in different times.
Yeah.
And they didn't know exactly what it was, but
Yeah.
some saw it
Yeah.
in different ways. Some depicted
Yes.
it wrong. Some
Yes.
heard it
Yes.
wrong.
Yes. So what it probably means is that it was all the religions. It's all one. Basically, everything is one. And humans created this division that, oh, my religion is more accurate than yours, we're closer to God, whatnot, when in reality it's just one, everything is one, right?
Yeah.
It's just different ways to describe.
One is right and the rest are wrong, or none are right.
Or it never even happened.
Yeah.
You see, so we're allowing different outcomes, and we're not really holding on to any of it. We just assume, right? We just assume that this happened because of the different books, and then we also what scientists say? Do they say the scientists have confirmation for the floods, right?
No.
No.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that much.
Yeah.
But there could have. The
Is
glaciers could have.
there-
Oh no, there was a great flood. There was.
Uh
After the Ice Age.
huh.
When
Okay.
the Ice Age ended, there was most likely a great flood. They say, I think.
Okay, so they say the notion of the Great Flood that engulfs the entire Earth has not been scientifically confirmed. However, various localized flood events in ancient history have been well documented. Ice Age melts, Mediterranean basin, Yellow River, blah blah blah. So, anyways, let's say, so we cannot really rely on science.
For everything?
Yeah, we cannot really rely on religious scripts on everything. But at least the fact that we have these legends that spread across the universe, across the planet, that there was a great flood, there is a tendency to believe, again, without holding on to it, that it did take place, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so, so what is then, like, what will be the moral? Like, I will just conclude mine, and then we'll see where you at. To me, I kind of see it as when there is a lot of, let's say, injustice, which is a very broad term. What is justice? What is injustice? When the world lives outside of integrity and morals, then we have a potentiality for a great reset, or let's say flood, right? Because from what I have learned recently, studying the flood, discussing with your father also, is that when we have a high tide, which means the water is low.
No, it's high.
It's high. Okay, high tide, high water, right?
Yeah.
It means that everything washes into... No, when the water is low, it washes everything into the ocean, right? So it takes all the junk and it takes everything to the ocean.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when the tide is very high, right? Super high, then we have a potential for flood, and that's how things reset, right? Like everything is high, like it's like a big purge.
It's a big cleanse.
It's a big cleanse, exactly. So now the question is, will you be down if something like this happens, to go on an ark?
If something like this happens, I'm swimming for the 7 days.
What about people that don't know how to swim like me?
There's an ark parked right there.
Oh my god. So this is why it's good to be in the warmer climates, in my belief, because if something like this happens, at least the water is warm and you can last longer, right?
Yes.
When the water is cold, and something like this happens, then
you don't want to swim in cold water, especially ice cold water.
yes.
Ice cold water is like
I recently done a cold plunge, and I lasted only 5 minutes, and the water was ice cold, like it was -4 Celsius, which is below freezing point, and had.
I'd last 2 seconds in that.
Yeah. So you have to have a lot of self-control. But I realized that and then after 5 minutes, your feet start hurting. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so we
taking our lunch.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have a lunch together. Well, so far we have concluded that there is a chance that the flood will happen again, because it did happen, as we can see in various religious scripts.
Let me pull up a picture.
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look.
Fingers are hurting.
Let's put something cold.
Let's see. So what was I gonna?
You wanna pull a picture? You said.
Yeah. I was thinking.
Cold?
Well, I forgot what picture I was gonna pull up.
Of the flood, of the universe you described, the planet. You want to look up different flood scenarios?
Yes.
If you want, I can search the keywords for you while you getting your hands.
Wait, it might. I think I was mailed. No, okay. Didn't mail it to me.
Now let me type it for you. I'll spell it right. You said want to say Babylonian what?
Yeah, no, Babylonian Earth picture.
I love it. Babylonian Earth
Picture.
picture. You're allowed to correct. Okay, Babylonian Earth picture. Images. Oh wow. Oh, look at this. So Earth is here. Oh, there is heavens.
Oh, well, then I guess it wasn't Babylon that had this. Yeah, okay, see? The sky and the sun. There's the dome.
That's the one.
The earth.
That's the one you described.
The pillars of the earth. The underwaters. The overwaters.
Oh my god, that's exactly right.
And then about like here, there was a more detailed painting. It was actually less detailed, but it looked.
Heaven and earth.
It was easier to understand that one.
You didn't save it, right?
No,
Well,
it was
fine.
screen shared to me. I thought he sent it to me.
Oh, okay. Heaven and earth. Yeah, we can have a look and find it.
This one's ready. Okay.
But let's just use this model. So what is here? Is that the under?
No, these are the waters under. I guess they didn't put seal here. Oh no, this is seal. This is seal right there.
Oh yeah, I think this is a bigger picture. Okay,
Yeah, here we go.
now we see a bigger picture. Okay,
So this is seal right here. This
So-
is where we live.
so here, this brown one, or
So up here is where we live.
okay,
Over here are the pillars of the earth, keeping the water out. This is the waters under out. This is the dome, keeping the over waters out, and keeping the sky in.
I like the concept
And
of the
then
dome. I believe in
the
that.
water seeps through, which creates rain. It seeps through, gets in the clouds, and makes rain. And then, so you remember the story. So basically, there were two deities, and then they had children. The children killed the father, and then the mother created a flood out of anger. And then the strongest of the children faced her. One split her into one half into the sky and made the dome into the overwaters, and then split and then stopped her from with the what are they called? The
pillars? No.
the pillars of the earth, and made the waters below. Of course, now we know that this is a wrong depiction and there is no waters above, but
You know, you never know really.
that's true. That's true.
Because
But
we
in-
haven't been there. That's the thing.
From what
like-
I think.
Yes.
From
okay.
what I think.
Yeah. What do you think?
Thanks to Hubble, I think his name was,
Mm-hmm.
we know that the universe expands. Maybe that is this dome expanding on the water.
Okay.
And that's what the end of the universe is. And this isn't a dome of Earth, it's the dome of the whole universe.
You know.
Also, fun fact about the universe. If the sun disappeared, we wouldn't know until 8 minutes because it takes 8 minutes to travel at the speed of light to get from the Earth to the Sun, or the Sun to the Earth.
Really, 8 minutes.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be thrown off by its gravitational pull because gravity travels at the speed of light.
It's exactly 8 minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Or like around, I'm not sure
uh-huh.
if it's exact.
8 times 6. So 480 seconds then.
480 seconds? Yeah, about.
480 seconds.
I guess.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. How long it takes, speed of light,
To get to Earth from the Sun.
to
Exactly.
get to Earth from the sun. You're right, 8 minutes. It's exactly 8 minutes. And the moon is actually
11?
no, moon is 1.
1 1/3 seconds to the moon. To Jupiter, it's 35 to 52 minutes. And to Pluto, it's 5.5 hours. On average. To Pluto from Earth.
Let me click on 5 rows. One and so I wonder why moon is so quick.
Because it's close.
Closer
It's
to the
close. It's very close to the Earth, actually.
sun. Okay.
Did you know it would take so it would take less time to get from here, I'm not telling where, to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
With no traffic at 60 miles per hour. It would take more time than if you were to drive if there were a road straight up to get to space. It would take 1 hour from anywhere to get to space. It would only take you 1 hour driving 62 miles an hour.
Really?
If you went straight up.
To the open space.
Mhm.
Where the oxygen ends and you have
Yeah.
to wear a mask.
62 miles away.
Wow.
Only 62. That's closer than Las Vegas is to here.
That's amazing.
And
That's
I know
amazing.
that
That's
because
good
I've
to
been
know.
there many times.
Do you like it there?
Yeah, we have friends there.
Awesome. Awesome.
I went to his show. He does a he acts at a circus, I think. Yeah, Circus Olay.
Beautiful. And I think from there you can much better see the stars, right? From not from Vegas, but from the deserts there.
Yeah. There's a big salt water lake there that we passed by when we went there last time. Oh my gosh. When I was there, all day, I wish I could just get out of the car right then and jump in that water, although it would probably be boiling hot.
You know, I just realized something is that
What?
when you ask the same questions to ChatGPT 3 and ChatGPT 4,
You get different answers.
you
Because,
get different answers.
The
You're right.
last update was for GPT-3 was 2 years ago, almost exactly.
Yeah, I can see the difference
In 21.
because I opened another tab because I have both of them, and it really gives me a better rundown of information. So okay, yeah, back to the flood. We concluded that we have not concluded that everything is kind of wide open. the flood can potentially happen, and it potentially did happen. And in many cultures, pretty much all the cultures around the world reference the same flood, or maybe different floods. Same people or different people, because at some point the legends, there's a chance that someone came up with these legends for all the cultures. Maybe there are some aliens. Who knows?
This is my idea.
Yeah.
So, you see these two dots?
Yeah, I see these two dots.
So this is point A, where you start. It's flooded.
Yeah.
And they think it's world flood because
Yeah.
they don't have any knowledge of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. And then they go back here to maybe this country or this country.
Yeah.
And thinking it's like the waters have receded when it's just, it's not a world flood, it's just a larger flood. And my idea about this is maybe, so you see this, my hand right here on the table. This is like a whole nother. So over here it represents the world, and then maybe there were like parts over that, and then they sunk because of floods, and like there wasn't as much water, nearly as much water, and like that's the deeper parts of the ocean. And did you know that we've only discovered like less than 25% of the oceans? So there's still a lot to be discovered, and maybe Atlantis.
You mean the sea bottom?
Yeah, the sea bottom. We have overall like satellite pictures, but we don't have the bottom.
Yeah, it's a whole world. And they discovered oceans underneath the oceans.
Yeah, that's true. There are oceans underneath the oceans with what could be completely new life and a completely new type of fish. And
So it's maybe, let's say there is an ocean, according to this map.
What is
So it's more underneath, so there is more layers to that
this?
ocean, right?
yeah. What is this though?
So what it means at the end to you is that not everything was flooded, or everything was flooded. Like parts of the worlds were and parts of the worlds weren't. Right?
In this,
With these two dots that you were showing me.
in these billions of years the Earth has been here. At one point, everything was flooded, at least once. But the waters receded for all of this. I'm not saying that it all happened at once, but over time.
Okay. Good.
And there's just more flood-prone areas and less.
Did you mention to Ali what we learned about the prophecy piece, that social justice was the trigger? Can you come back, Ethan? Come
Dad.
back. Ethan,
I think I probably mentioned that.
did you talk about social justice as the trigger for the floods? Come back. You can't
No, I
hear
didn't.
it. You're on the mic. You're over there.
Oh.
Yeah. Since we're recording this, you have to sit down and stay close.
Okay.
Ethan, sit down.
Okay. Fine.
Ethan, all of this is being recorded, the sound, so you gotta pay attention to the mic.
Okay.
Okay. So can you just briefly mention what we learned from Dr. Lufto?
Yes. The Babylonian world that I was just talking about is courtesy of a someone who studies religion, Dr. Nathaniel Lefto. I was on call with him, how many days ago?
On Saturday. A couple
Saturday.
days ago.
Oh wow, amazing. I was speaking with a doctor.
He was a professor of religious studies.
Friend of my father.
Great. Alright, what did he share?
Basically, he said that there were no prophecies because there was usually in those arc stories that I talked about when I talked about the similarities and differences. The arc stories usually had convent or promise, which I also mentioned. About like social norms and like to be better to the people and to God and to the animals.
Well, I think what we were asking him is if there were lessons learned about these past floods for the future. And what he said is that the common theme in all of these flood stories across cultures was that there was a violation of social justice that triggered the flood and created an opportunity for the gods to sort of start things anew, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great conclusion. It's a great conclusion. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, Ethan.
You too, Ali.
Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
This dragged out way longer than I was supposed
Love
You
it.
guys, and you were walking around. How are you walking? You can't record a podcast